Good evening, baseball fans. How are you doing on this fine Thursday evening? I feel like a new man. I was in the fetal position for about 4 days in a row. Probably the worst illness of my entire life. But we're back, and we're better than ever. How you doing, everyone? We got some hot takes to talk about. The stomach flu couldn't keep me away from the hot takes. We got some juicy ones here tonight. Could the Padres miss the playoffs? Could the Phillies actually trade Aaron Nola? We got a hot take on the Oakland A's and how just completely awful they are. We got a couple on the Red Sox. Let's get to it. Baseball fans, how you doing? A little technical difficulties right there. I clicked the wrong button by accident. My goodness. Hey, what can you do? I've been gone for a week, and I got to get used to doing the whole streaming thing again. How you doing, everyone? How you doing? Man, oh man, I'll tell you this. About 3 days. What is today? Thursday? So Monday. There is absolutely no way I would be sitting here at this desk doing this show. I'm telling you, I've had definitely times where I've been sick. I've had injuries happen to me. I have never been in that much pain in my entire life. Everything hurt in my body. My stomach was killing me. My head was killing me. I was vomiting like twice an hour, it felt like, for about 3 days straight. It was the absolute worst stomach virus, whatever the heck you want to call it. I don't know what the heck got into me, but my goodness, it was the worst of my entire life. I think about 10 years ago, I think I had not strep throat, but something pretty close to it. It was like a pretty nasty infection in my throat. That was over 10 years ago. I don't ever get sick. You know, I'm a teacher, so people think I probably get sick all the time. No, I've actually built up quite the immunity over the years, and I just don't really get sick. Like, I'll get a cold here and there, like, you know, it'll last me a couple days. I'll feel some aches, you know, whatever, kind of just, you know, rest up, but I can still do things. I can still move around and whatnot. This one left me just completely immobilized. Like, I just could barely get out of my bed. It was the worst. I would not ever wish that upon my worst enemy. It was the absolute worst. If anyone's having any kind of like a stomach thing right now, I'm praying for you, because it was the absolute worst. Anyway, enough of me rambling about my sickness. How you doing, everyone? How you doing? I've missed all of you. I did a video yesterday. Yesterday I actually did start to feel pretty good again. Tuesday was kind of the last day where I was really feeling it. But then I woke up yesterday. I was feeling a lot better. Yesterday was like a catch-up day for me. So I was feeling good enough to do a video. And so if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. We got a super chat coming in. Oh, we got a hot take to start things off. Joe Hill, $5 super chat. How you doing? Hot take, he says. Tigers trade Erod to the Red Sox for Marcelo Meyer and make up for drafting Joe Hill. Man, I'm gonna say no on that one. There is absolutely no way the Red Sox are trading Marcelo Meyer, and that is as good as Eduardo Rodriguez is. That's not worth Marcelo Meyer. I'm sorry about that. I would love Erod back. Don't get me wrong, I would, but absolutely no way. I gotta disagree with that one. But I think the Tigers. We talked about the Tigers last week on Hot Takes. And I think the Tigers, you know what? Don't count them out. Don't count them out. That's a team that could be a pesky team this year hanging around. They're not really leaving anywhere. They're not really falling down the standings. So I think they're going to be hanging on to Eduardo Rodriguez. So that's just my opinion. Anyway, Joe Hill, thank you for starting off Hot Takes in a hot way, no pun intended, with a $5 super chat. If anyone would like to get a hot take into the show, you can drop a super chat. I've already selected the hot takes for tonight. What I do is I post a thread on the community tab on this channel for you to be able to post a hot take, and I'll also post it on Twitter. Everyone, go follow me on Twitter. You know, it's not really like I don't have like a big following on Twitter, but I definitely kind of post my thoughts on there throughout the day. If you got a Twitter, go follow me on there. And I actually did a last second hot takes thread to this morning, and I actually had quite a few good ones that I'm using tonight. But again, I have picked my hot takes for tonight, but if you would like to get onto the show, you can drop a super chat, and I will read it on the spot, and I will give you my reaction to it. So everyone, hope you're all doing great. Hope you're all having a great week. Weekend is just around the corner. For me, you know, I didn't go to work for the last few days, so it's kind of weird that the weekend is already tomorrow. So, because it just feels like my week is starting basically. But yeah, I've had to play some catch up on everything. I'm going to be honest with you. I was watching, you know, the Red Sox games during my misery, and I didn't have really the energy to do anything. I was watching the game while just laying there in pain. And I was trying my best to keep up on things throughout the league. Like, I saw the whole Aaron Judge thing. I don't know. My personal take on that is I think that was just a bunch of nonsense. I mean, what, people can't look around? Like, you can't look at something, you can't see like something in the stands or something in the dugout. He was saying that there was something distracting him in the dugout and it was catching his attention. I believe Aaron Judge on that. I don't know. I think the Yankees are definitely a hot target when it comes to anything cheating related. So, you know, I can understand where people jump at. You know, you did have Domingo Germán get thrown out of the game. I mean, I think that one was just ridiculous. I mean, Domingo Germán, you know, the whole thing with the Twins. It's like, dude, if you got talked to, it's crazy to me how these people, like Ja Morant. Listen, I'm not going to get into a rant on that, on Ja Morant, but it's like, you get caught one time doing something stupid. Why are you doing it again? Like, it's just so insane to me. Like, what has happened to brains over the last, 10, 20 years? I don't get it. If you get caught as a teacher, it grinds my gears. If you get a consequence once, you should learn from that consequence. What are you doing? I don't know. I'm just saying. Domingo Germán, you avoided it with the Twins and you tried it again, and there you go. Anyway, but I'm basically playing catch up on everything here. But for tonight, we're going to focus on some hot takes, and we got some good ones here. Please stick around halfway through the show. A huge announcement tonight. I'm not going to say it's groundbreaking. It's pretty fun, though. I'm going to be honest with you. It's something you really might want to pay attention to. So definitely stick around halfway through. I think you'll enjoy it. And there are rewards involved. There are prizes involved. So pay attention. What else we got? All right, let's go ahead and get started. That's all I can think of for right now. If you are new to the channel, think about subscribing down below. Help us get to 30K by the All-Star break. We're closing within 300 people of 30K. So if you can help us get there, I will love you forever. You know what else will make you love? You know what else will make me love you forever? Hit that like button for me. You all know I love when you hit that like button. It makes me happy. It makes me tingle inside. Hit the likes for me. That'll make me a happy boy. Hit the bell notification. That way you know I go live every single time. Even when I'm not here for a week, you know I'm live. Share the stream if you can. Let's try and get some more people in here. We got over 100 people to start things off. Also, don't forget about our sponsor for tonight's show. We have Sorare MLB. Stick around halfway through the show. I'm going to go over, I actually haven't talked about what prizes I got from the tournament last weekend. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to pull my cards, and you're all going to see what cards I earned. And I'll check on my team now, see how they're doing. And we'll also be picking my team for next week. And but yeah, also stay tuned for a juicy announcement halfway through the show. Don't forget, we are partners here with Bet Online, your number one source for all your sports betting needs, whether that's Major League Baseball, basketball. We got the playoffs. My Celtics dropped game 1 to the Heat. My Celtics continue to frustrate me. Boston sports just keep finding ways to frustrate me lately. My goodness. First the Bruins. Can the Celtics please get it together? What the heck is going on? But whatever sports you are interested, you can go to Bet Online, try and win yourself some cash, whether that's MLB, basketball, NHL. We got the playoffs winding down there. We got NFL coming up eventually, UFC, whatever it may be. And don't forget, we are partners here with SeatGeek. I know some of you have been using my code. SeatGeek has been letting me know. So, hey, take advantage of it. Use my code HYDE. You get $20 off on your first purchase. All right, everyone, let's get to it. So, we're going to start off hot. It's hot takes, and I don't mean to keep saying hot. Like, I don't mean to, to sound cringy. It's just the first word that comes to mind. But here we go. Let's get to it here. Also, don't forget. I also, let me actually say this before I do get started. I apologize for not doing power rankings for this past week. I really tried. Like, Sunday, I thought. Friday was when I first felt myself, like, coming down with something. Saturday, I was terrible. Sunday, I thought I could power through. And I actually kind of got through my preparation about halfway. And I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't finish it. And I thought Monday, I'd be all right. And then Monday, I got worse. And Tuesday, I was still I was getting a little better. Just wasn't quite there yet. And I just figured at that point, it was too late to do power rankings. So I completely apologize for not being able to do the power rankings this past week, but please stay tuned. Sunday night, big power rankings show. We had a week break. I don't like the idea of doing a week break after 2 weeks of power rankings, but hey, life is life. What can you do? So Sunday, power rankings return. Be here, or don't be here. Whatever you got going on. Whatever. You got to take care of that. Take care of that. So here we go. Let's get to it here. Let's start off with the San Diego Padres. We got a couple here. We have one from Matt's Smirking Revenge. Cardinals. Now, this is a two-parter. I'm gonna disagree with the first part, Matt. Cardinals make a deadline deal for Juan Soto. This would be hilarious if the Padres ended up just selling Juan Soto. That wouldn't happen. That would if they were to do something like that. That would happen probably next year if they couldn't sign him to an extension. But I'm looking at the second part. He says here, as the Padres are sellers at the deadline, trading for pennies on the dollar in terms of prospects, in a stunning reversal of 1 year ago. I mean, this is hilarious, like fantasy booking. I love it. Don't see it turning out that way, but let's actually talk about the part where the Padres could be sellers. And also Dylan making it back onto hot takes I think this is like the third or fourth time now. Dylan just has a way of getting onto the hot takes show. He just simply says the Padres missed the playoffs. So let's get to it here. The Padres have not been playing great baseball. It's pretty crazy to see. I would imagine this Padres team is going to get it together at some point. As we can see here, the Padres, they are 20-24. They are 8 games back as of right now. Now, listen, in the National League, you have the benefit of being in this National League because right now, the team that is last place in the National League, well, 2 teams, the Nationals and the Cardinals. The Cardinals, my goodness, they are red hot. We're going to talk about them in just a little bit. But they are both 5 games back, and that's last place in the wild card. So what I'm trying to say here is the National League, it's pretty tight right now as a whole. So the Padres got that going for them. Now, as for the division, a lot of people were jumping on the Padres bandwagon. They were getting the Padres fever coming into this year. And here they are at 20-24. I mean, even the Rockies are finding a way to hang into it here. I mean, look at the Rockies. That bullpen has been completely nasty for the Colorado Rockies. My goodness. The Padres they're 2-8 in their last 10. They've dropped the last couple. Just not inspiring baseball. Like, you know, you had the Mexico series. There was a lot of energy there. You know, you had Fernando Tatis Jr. coming back, and that seemed to kind of spark the offense a little bit. But the offense as a whole, if we go take a look at the numbers, you know I like my numbers. But the Padres, as of right now, they're 19th in WRC+. If we go take a look over the last couple of weeks, not really inspiring either. Taking a look here, the Padres, they're 28th overall in the last couple of weeks. They've just been completely slumping. As a team, they're hitting 204, a 307 on base, and a 325 slugging, a 121 ISO. I mean, my goodness. You know, the BABIP is a little low at 259, but I think that more BABIP doesn't necessarily mean that you're unlucky. That could just also mean that you're just not a good team as well. I don't know what's going on with the music here, everyone. It is driving me nuts. Spotify is not reliable tonight. There it is. There's the music. Goodness gracious. But the Padres, the offense has just been completely slumping. If we go take a look at just what these guys are doing individually, Juan Soto has really gotten it together. I saw him doing a drill in the batting cages where he was like completely turned. He had his body turned completely the other way, and I think that means he was having a mechanical issue going on with his swing. And after I saw that he was working on that, he had just completely gotten it together. And if we take a look at the numbers, his WRC plus has just been climbing. Batting average is up to 252. The on base has always been pretty good this year for the most part, but now it's above 400. The slugging is slowly getting back to the 500 range. You know, the home runs need to kind of start picking up a little bit, which I think they will. 20 RBIs on the year. He has a 219 ISO percentage. That's really solid. So Juan Soto, he's fine. I told all of you, he's always a slow starter. That's just how it is with him. Xander Bogaerts was the hot one to get going, but now his numbers have started to come back down a little bit. But overall, he is hitting with a very solid slash line throughout the year. 275 average as of right now. That has gone down, though. On base is at a 374. The slugging is at a 431. That's what I thought Bogaerts was. You know, like, I've never... Well, Bogaerts with me, he's never really been that... He's never been a power guy to me. He's always been a guy... He's like a perfect two guy in the lineup where he'll give you a little pop. He reminds me of Pedroia in a way, with maybe a bit more power, where he's going to give you a really good batting average. He's going to give you a good on base, you know, but the slugging, you know, yeah, like to me, he was more of like a doubles guy, like a gap kind of a guy. And then he could, you know, pop a couple over the green monster there. When Bogaerts was going off with the power in the beginning of the year, I just didn't think that was going to continue. Just because we saw trends last year with his power going down, even at Fenway Park, which, you know, the Green Monster there, that was basically built perfect for him because he is more of a pull guy. So I'm not surprised that his power numbers have started to regress a little bit. Fernando Tatis Jr., I don't know, it just seems like maybe he's now working through something. He looked a bit hot coming in. I mean, my goodness, look at what he was doing down in the minor leagues. It was pretty just insane what he was doing down there. But now it looks like he is starting to have to make some adjustments. He's hitting 274, 313 on base, 462 slugging. He's kind of just been pretty average for the most part. Matt Carpenter, he's been coming up with some hits, but nothing crazy. Jake Cronenworth, his numbers are actually pretty similar to what they were last year. The lineup is just not amazing, but the one guy here is Manny Machado. Like, what is Manny Machado doing here that they have lost just the length in their lineup? You know, sure, you got Fernando Tatis Jr. back, which you didn't have him last year, but Manny Machado was having an MVP season last year, and look at the numbers through 40 games. He's only hitting 231, a 282 on base, a 372 slugging. I mean, this is pretty terrible. I don't know. Manny Machado, I think we got to start paying attention a little bit more to baseball, because in the news today, Manny Machado has taken minority ownership of an expansion team that will be coming to Major League Soccer in San Diego. I mean, that's pretty cool. But Manny Machado, I mean, your numbers are down. Have you been distracted by this, my friend? I don't know what is going on. I don't know. Is your mind more on the money right now, Manny Machado, or what's happening here? Your numbers are not looking good, and now I'm seeing you're now the owner of a soccer team. What's going on here? So Manny Machado's got to pick this up. Nelson Cruz, he's had a couple of moments this year, but he's not really a game changer. They just, I don't know what it is. Like, they got the stars, but they don't have. This was how it was last year. It felt like you had the stars, but you were having guys like Ha-Seong Kim step up for you. Jake Cronenworth was coming up with some big spots. It was just there was this. I don't know. The lineup last year just felt like it was clicking a little bit more. Now, granted, it's still May. I think we need to kind of cool the jets a little bit, but it is a little concerning that these guys are just not really clicking because when you're seeing names like Soto, Bogarts, Tatis, Machado, I mean, come on. Like, these guys should be just killing it right now. I'll wait until June, maybe mid-June to really be concerned about this lineup personally. Brian, how you doing, my friend? I'll get to that super chat in just a second. I see you, my friend. I'm glad you're excited about Casey Schmidt. You are awesome, my friend. Thank you for that. Thank you. Here we go. So back to the Padres. So we know what's going on with this offense. And then one more thing with the offense, too. With guys and runners in scoring position, it has not been amazing. If we take a look here in WRC plus with runners in scoring position, they are 29th overall. So, they're getting the runners on because if you take a look at the base running, they are actually a good base running team. They're 6th overall with a 4.4. So they're getting the runners on. They're moving the guys. They are creating runs through the bases, but they're not getting the big hits. And that's pretty evident with their ranking of 29th in WRC plus with runners in scoring positions. So they're going to have to do something here. I don't know what's going on. Do you got to move guys around in the lineup? Do they got to work on some mechanical things? I don't know what's going on. But let's talk about the pitching here. Let's go to the starting pitching. San Diego, it's fine. They're 15th overall. Right now, the starting pitching, it's a 4.23, 4.47 FIP, or the 4.23 ERA, a 4.47 FIP, 4.44 xFIP. But when I'm looking at these guys, someone like Blake Snell, he has been really disappointing so far. Record of 1-5, a 4.61 ERA, expected ERA at 5.52. The FIP at a 5.26. The xFIP, it's not inspiring at 4.63. Darvish, he's been fine, though. Waka was actually really good the other day. What did he strike out, like 11 guys or 10 guys, something like that? His FIP is looking really good at a 3.64. The xFIP, though, I'm not a big fan of at 4.63. Seth Lugo has been okay. Ryan Weathers has had a couple of moments. Joe Musgrove, though, I mean, he has really not been effective at all. Is he hurt again, or is he still doing fine? Because he only has 19 innings on the year. No, it looks like he's still doing fine. But Joe Musgrove, it looks like he's kind of still working. I mean, you got to remember here, he didn't really have a spring training, so I do think he will end up being fine. But the FIP scares me at a 6.15. I don't know. Joe Musgrove, I'll give him a little more time. Again, he didn't have a spring training, so you got to kind of let him work through things. What I do like with Joe Musgrove is the strikeout to walk ratio, 9 strikeouts per 9 to under 4 walks per 9. So I think that, but he's giving up a lot of home runs. That's the thing. But give him some time. I think he'll end up being fine. So looking at the bullpen, if we take a look at the bullpen, and it kind of like the starting pitching, pretty middle of the road. 3.53 ERA as a whole, 4.27 FIP, 4.35 xFIP. It's fine. It's not mind-blowing by any means, but it's getting the job done. Hader has been absolutely fantastic. He's one of the best relievers in the game. He's got 11 saves over 18 games. Nick Martinez has been absolutely fantastic there. Luis Garcia has a high ERA, but the FIP is really good. ERA is at a 5.09. FIP is at a 2.96. So, they're getting some other guys. Steven Wilson has been fine for the most part. Brent Honeywell, Tim Hill, Crismatt. Crismatt, nope, not so bueno. But Brent Honeywell, Tim Hill, they've been contributing. Domingo Tapia, he's walking a lot of guys, but I guess he's been all right for the most part. So the bullpen I'm not concerned about. I think this Padres team, I think you got to kind of just give them a little bit more time here. I think the offense just kind of needs to work through some struggles. Sounds like the starting pitching is not fully there. I think the bullpen, they're just doing what they can. So I say give them another month until, if they're still looking like this in June, then yeah, I'd be a little concerned. So as of right now, I would say no to selling at the deadline. I would say no that they missed the playoffs. I would think they're going to find their way into the playoff mix eventually. The good thing going for them is that, again, they're in the National League. They're 8 games back in the division. We saw how bad the Cardinals were, and granted, the Cardinals are still 8 games under 500, but the Cardinals look like a completely different team lately. Actually, are the Cardinals winning? I saw they were beating the Dodgers earlier. Oh, man, the Dodgers have really climbed back in this one. It's 9-8. The Cardinals were pounding them. I think someone hit a grand slam. I feel like I got the notification. Who was it? Was it Freeman that hit a grand slam? Good for him. But the Padres, we saw the Cardinals, how they can turn it around. They're 8-2 in their last 10. That Cardinals team is thumping right now. That's why I didn't want to put the Cardinals in the bottom 5 of my first 2 power rankings. At least I don't think I did. But I was always saying with the Cardinals, it's a good team. You just need to kind of let themselves just get it together. The whole Wilson Contreras thing, sure, I think it could have been better handled. But at the end of the day, the Cardinals, they needed to make that move because Wilson Contreras was not helping out the starting pitching. And now look at how well the Cardinals have been playing. So maybe the Padres need to make a couple of adjustments, get themselves back on track. They have the talent. At the end of the day, the cream rises to the top. When you got players like this in your lineup and you got solid guys in that rotation, solid guys in that bullpen, the cream will rise to the top. Talent wins out eventually. I think the Padres will be fine. Personally, if they were to sell, let's have some fun. And I'm going to do a good thing here. I'm going to close out some tabs. I'm going to make sure I do that because you all know me. I turn into Potato Head Robbie rather quick, and it's not good. But if we were to take a look at the Padres, let's have some fun. All right. If they were to sell, let's say they just go on like an Angels losing streak from last year, and they just drop out of everything completely. They just completely fall off the face of the planet. Well, who could they trade? Well, if we go take a look here, now you're not trading Machado, you're not trading Bogarts, you're not trading Fernando Tatis Jr. Could you? I don't know, man. We were seeing him in trade rumors. I mean, that'd be crazy. I don't know. I'd probably say like 95% no, but that 5% of me would think like, should the Padres just try and get out of that? I don't know. But you're not trading Musgrove. You're not trading Darvish. Now, one guy I would think if maybe Snell, if he were to get himself turned around. I think he was getting interest even last year, I believe. And I think he was even getting interest in the offseason. So, you got a couple of other guys here, like Luis Garcia. I don't think Nelson Cruz would go anywhere. I think he wanted to just go to San Diego, and that was it. Now, the one guy that really sticks out would be Josh Hader, because he is a free agent after this year. And again, I'm only just talking from the point of view that the Padres are just completely out of it. Like, they have just been hit with the colossal hammer of doom, and they are like 15 games under 500, and they're just out. But Josh Hader would, of course, be like the number one guy. Soto, I don't think they would trade Soto if they were out of it, because you have him next year. If there was ever a time to trade him, which would be just crazy in my opinion, because you just gave up so much to get him. But honestly, if you were out of it, I mean, could you maybe even think about just trading him somewhere else to try and make up the prospects that you got back, or that you gave up? But they wouldn't trade him this year. They would only do it next year if they were just bad again. But I just highly doubt that the Padres. We're talking crazy here. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, it's absolutely not going to happen. But I don't know. I think the Padres are going to be fine. JDS third. What's being fine mean? I think being fine means they're going to get back to winning baseball. They're going to start playing better. They're going to get back over 500, and they're going to start being in contention again. Right? I think that's pretty much what I'm trying to say when I'm saying the Padres are going to be fine. All right, I think they're going to start climbing back in. They're going to eventually get over that hurdle of San Francisco. Now, the Diamondbacks, that's the other interesting thing. I had the Diamondbacks making the playoffs this year. I'm just saying. The Diamondbacks, I think, are a good team. Now, I think the Padres are going to have a tough time with them. It's a good team this year in Arizona. I was telling all of you, I was even saying this even late into last season, and no one wanted to listen to me, and I'm just saying. But the Padres, they're going to be good. But we'll check back in a month. And we'll see how they're doing. So let's move on here. We got some other hot takes. I mentioned the Cardinals. We're actually a little trade heavy here. A little trade heavy in the first few. I can't believe you all love the trades. I know where your minds are at. You're already wondering, when are the trade rumors coming in? When are we going to start talking all the juicy stuff? I know what you all are thinking all the time. Why? Because it gets my juices going, man. I love the trade rumors. So some of you are already wondering, how can you make your teams even better? And we got one suggestion here. The St. Louis Cardinals are just playing fantastic baseball lately, and we got a hot take here. Actually, we got two. Ethan Sacco, how you doing, my friend? Actually, the video that I did yesterday, I saw this yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a video on which teams could be buyers or sellers. So I just wanted to put this here. Ethan, thank you for the inspiration on that video, my friend. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of just answering this one, I'm just going to do a whole video on every single team. But he says here, do the Cardinals sell at the deadline, or should they target someone like Dylan Cease or Eduardo Rodriguez? And Nick Hodges also had a Cardinals one. Cardinals trade for Shane Bieber. So as we saw here, the St. Louis Cardinals, they are now 18-26. It was doomsday in St. Louis. Everything was looking really bad at one point, and I even made a video, should the Cardinals sell? And I said in the video, nah, we got to give it a little more time. You know, I think people were getting a little crazy. This was a good Cardinals team. Despite the bad record, there were still some really good numbers. Not the starting pitching really so much. But we have seen some improvements there. But could they make some more improvements? We just saw a couple of suggestions there. We just saw Dylan Cease, Eduardo Rodriguez, Shane Bieber. I don't think Eduardo Rodriguez is going anywhere, everyone. I think everyone is... I've been seeing that a lot. But right now, the Tigers... I mean, listen. The Tigers signed him to a 5-year deal. I know there's an opt-out there. If he has himself a really good year... Yeah, he could I believe the opt-out is after this year, if my memory serves me correctly. But I think the Tigers would definitely want to hang on to him because they wanted this guy for the long haul. And they, but again, I think we need to see how they do. They're kind of just hanging around here in this division. They're 3.5 back in this division right now. This is a very weak division, and I think the Tigers see that. So I'm honestly taking Eduardo Rodriguez off the board as of right now, especially if the Tigers are going to be kind of around like where they are now. If they definitely drop off, then sure, he could be a candidate. But right now, no. Dylan Cease, though, I definitely think Dylan Cease is up for grabs. I don't know about this White Sox team. I was kind of giving them the same treatment as the Cardinals. Let's just kind of see if they can go on a run like the Cardinals are doing. The White Sox, they're not listening so much. I don't know. I've been thinking about this White Sox team. I think it's a chemistry thing. I think there is just something in this clubhouse. I think they need a new energy in this clubhouse. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm not there, but because I'm thinking you got talent on this team, offense, you got pitching, you had a new manager with a new voice. Granted, I'm not watching every White Sox game, so I can't say like how his decisions are or whatever. But when these guys aren't playing well, I don't know. So to me, I'm going to look at a chemistry thing. Ratchet Dewan, you got Hendricks coming back. Maybe that could bring the team back together a little bit. That could really bring some energy. Liam Hendricks is a bulldog, man. That could really, he'll probably walk into that clubhouse and be like, what the heck are you guys doing? Can we start winning some games here? So the White Sox, it's not looking great, because the one thing with the White Sox is a little bit ago, they were a little closer to the wild card picture, but now they're 9.5 back. If you're way back but the thing is like this division is also weak. I think the White Sox are going to wait as long as possible to sell. I don't think they're going to be like early, wave the white flag. I think they're going to really wait as long as they can, because I think they would like to see if they can get back into it, but they're just not responding like the Cardinals did. If they responded like the Cardinals did, that's a different story. So right now, I will definitely say that the White Sox, these guys, I will say right now, I think they're up for grabs. Personally, I think they will be eventually. You got, all these other guys too. You got someone like Joe Kelly on here, Lance Lynn. But we're focused on Lucas Giolito too. But Dylan Cease is an interesting one, because obviously this is a guy they could hang on to, but they have a rough farm and there's not a whole lot there that they can turn to. Because the one thing with the White Sox is they can quickly regroup next year, and because they have some young guys on this team, which is another reason you would want to maybe hang on to Dylan Cease, because he's under so much control. But he would also bring you back a haul. Now, the one thing with him, he has struggled this year. He's got 9 starts. The ERA is at a 4.86, but the FIP is at a 4.12. So that to me is a little better. The xFIP though is at a 4.51, so I'm not a big fan of that. But the one thing I'm still liking about Dylan Cease is that his strikeouts still look pretty good. His walks are up a little bit, so he needs to kind of get that command back. The velocity is like a tick lower, so I don't know if that could be contributing to this a little bit. But I feel like Dylan Cease, what we saw last year, these numbers were off the charts. Like, he was so good. ERA at a 2.20. FIP at a 3.10, 11 to right around like a little less than 4 walks per 9, 11 Ks, about 4 walks per 9. Like, that's really solid. He was striking out guys left and right. But the one thing is the velocity is a little down. But I will say with Dylan Cease, I think he will be fine. I think he will get himself back on track. So he would be a huge get. The one thing with the Cardinals, though, now, getting back to the hot, the one part of that hot take there, should they go after Dylan Cease? No, until I see improvements. If we don't see Dylan Cease getting back to what he was doing last year fully, having some better command, not walking as many guys, he's giving up a couple of more home runs as well. He's just getting hit harder a bit in general. I don't think he would be the best option for the Cardinals, personally. I think for the Cardinals, you would want to go after someone that is doing well, right? That is, what you're getting out of the guy. That you're getting a reliable guy. So someone like Bieber would be incredibly reliable, but then again, the Guardians, it's going to come down to where they are in this division. The one thing with Shane Bieber is he is getting a little closer to free agency. And the Guardians, we saw with Lindor that, they have done this before. They don't just wait until the trade deadline before their contract's up to trade. They will get rid of guys sooner rather than later. So that's what has put Bieber in the trade talk conversation going back a little bit now. Not a crazy amount, but so it's really wait and see with that. Now, if you were to pick out one guy, honestly, SoundFX, longtime supporter of the channel. I'm going to get to that super chat in just 1 second. SoundFX, you are the man. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that, my friend. The one guy that kind of checks off those boxes, a guy that has shown to be reliable and can help you in the second half, and a team that is most likely going to sell, would be Lucas Giolito. I think Lucas Giolito would be a great fit for the Cardinals right now. It just makes a lot of sense. But let's take a look at the Cardinals. Let's see kind of what's going on here with the offense. The offense over the last couple of weeks has really picked it up. They're second overall with a 130 WRC plus over the last 13 games. Not tonight. So that's definitely adding to it. They're scoring a lot of runs tonight. Over the last 13 games, they're hitting 277, a 347 on base, a 490 slugging. They got these guys going again. So something has happened there. Honestly, I really think the whole thing with Wilson Contreras at catcher, I think once that settled and once that subsided, I think that helped, honestly. I think that's just my personal opinion. Because he can just focus on the bat, right? He has been catching a little bit, but that's what I think Contreras needs to do. Just focus on the bat. That's what you're good at, Work on the catching elsewhere. I think Wilson Contreras honestly should be really the backup catcher. Personally, I don't think he's really been. He's strong at some things with catching, but as a guy that works with the pitching staff, sure he had some success, but I just think I think you just need to give it more time because he's coming over to a completely new system, new pictures, new ways of doing things, new philosophies. I think he just needs more time to work on that. So I'm not completely shutting out the idea of him being a starting catcher again, but I think right now he just needs to focus on the bat because that is what he is good at. And it's obviously helping here. These guys are just clicking right now. If we go take a look at some of the numbers over the last couple of weeks, Nootbaar has been great, but here's the big one. Nootbaar has been awesome. He's been getting on base. He has been fantastic over the last 13, hitting 365, 459 on base, 500 slugging. But the guy that has finally woke up is Nolan Arenado. He has been just, my goodness. He has just been tearing the cover off the ball. Last 12, hitting 308, 339 on base, 692 slugging. Honestly, you could argue, Wilson Contreras, actually, he has not been hitting too great, but whatever. I think just kind of getting past that drama of everything with the catching position, I think kind of helped everyone settle down a little bit. So, sure, he's not. The one thing with Contreras, though, he's still in the lineup. Him just being in this lineup, you got to pitch around him. Like, he's not someone, he's still a presence there. Sure, the numbers aren't really there, but the guy is still a presence. But the big key is Nolan Arenado heating up. I mean, he was so cold that first month, so he's finally gotten it together there. Gorman has been awesome for the Cardinals. Even DeYoung has been hitting a little bit. Even Kisner has been hitting a little bit. Look at Kisner with the 639 slugging over the last 11 games. Even Tommy Edman has been hitting. Even Brendan Donovan has been hitting. The guys have woken up here. So that has been the big key. But let's go take a look here at the starters. If we take a look at St. Louis with the starting pitching, it's still not great. 25th overall on the year, but let's see how they're doing over the last couple of weeks. St. Louis right now, still not great, 24th overall. But one good note here is the xFIP is a 4.36, which is more of a projection. So that's showing a better future for the pitching staff. So let's actually see how these guys have been doing. I feel like Flaherty had a pretty good start last time out. I could be wrong, because I saw on So Rare he got like a good amount of points. Yeah, it was a couple of days ago. Yeah, it was the 18-1 victory. My God, they just completely just freaking blew the roof off of that place. 7 shutout innings, 3 hits. He struck out 10. There you go. There's the Jack Flaherty that I remember, but those numbers overall are still not looking great. Even Jack Flaherty has been talked about as a potential trade candidate. But Miles Mikolas has gotten himself together. He got off to a really bumpy start. Remember, he was in the World Baseball Classic. So some of these guys that were in that World Baseball Classic, listen, everyone, I'm just saying, I think that World Baseball Classic really kind of threw a lot of guys off. Mikolas was one of those guys, and he was off to a terrible start in the beginning of the year. Also working with Wilson Contreras, that was just a perfect storm of problems right there. Liberatore, he came up. He got a pretty decent outing over 5. I think you need to keep Liberatore in this lineup here. Let me actually go here. Or in the rotation, sorry. Let's actually go. He is still with the team, right? I mean, they got to keep this guy up. He was really showing a lot of good stuff. They got to keep him up. Keep him up. Because in the minor leagues, he was really doing well. So, this is the one thing. And Montgomery's been good all year. The one thing with the Cardinals is they had depth. So, Matz has... he's been all right lately. Actually, if we go take a look. Or the numbers... So Matt's the last couple, he's been all right. 3.38 ERA. Wainwright coming back. The numbers aren't really great yet, but Wainwright is Wainwright. The guy's a team leader. I think he just brings that. He just brings that calming presence. I think he's just one of the dudes. He's just the leader of that team, in my opinion. So I think the Cardinals, they're really looking a lot better here. A lot of people were thinking doom and gloom. Even I made a video thinking, should they sell? Because it was really bad. Like, I had never seen I can't think of a team that looked so good coming into the year. Besides my Red Sox back in 2011, they got off to like this horrific start. What was their record back in 2011 to start? I'm not talking about the finish. Remember, they got off to a really bad start that year. It was like what? Like 3-13 or something. I can't even remember what the record was. It was so bad. And then they got red hot like through July. Like, they were nuts, man. I think even through August they were really good. From like May to August, they were just setting the world on fire. But that first month they were looking really bad, and people were wondering what is happening with this team. That's really the only team I can think of that kind of comes to mind when I'm thinking of the St. Louis Cardinals this year. That was just such a bad start. But hey, it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. So, hey, I think the Cardinals are fine. Look out for them. So, let's get to these Super Chats here. We had a couple. Brian from earlier, as a Giants fan, Casey Schmidt is killing it. Let's go take a look at Mr. Casey Schmidt. Let me close out some of these tabs because my brain is hurting looking at all these tabs. Why do I open so many tabs? Why do I do this to myself? What is happening? It is just the worst. All right, here we go. How is Casey Schmidt doing? I have not looked at his numbers lately, so I need to go check on those. So, Casey Schmidt. Honestly, I like Casey Schmidt. There's kind of just like, he just looks like a San Francisco Giant to me. He's kind of one of those players. He's just a dirt dog kind of a player. He's just going to be a good, solid player for you. Oh, yeah, he has been really good. Let's go take a look at his numbers. Oh, man. Really good start. Could he be a Rookie of the Year candidate? Maybe. Look at these. 9 games so far, hitting .417, .694 slugging, couple of homers. He homered in his first game, .204 WRC+. Hey, great start for him. Great start. How's the defense? Defense is whatever. But, hey, good start for him. You got to love it, man. You got to love it. Thank you for the Super Chat, Brian. SoundFX09, here you go. $5 Super Chat. Thank you, my friend. 300 career home runs for future Hall of Famer, current LA Dodger, and former Atlanta Braves first baseman Freddie Freeman. And he does it in grand style. Is that really 300 home runs? Wow. It's just funny with Freeman because, like, when I personally think of Freeman, I just think of just such a good hitter. He's a good all-around hitter. I just never think of the home runs with him for some reason. I don't know why. I think of a guy that just, like, always has a high batting average. He's always just raking doubles. He's always got a lot of extra base hits. And yeah, he'll definitely hit a few home runs, obviously. I just never think of him as a home run hitter. Could he get to 400 home runs? I don't see why not. Could he get to 500? Could he get to 500 home runs? I mean, Freeman right now, how old is he? Is he 33? He's 33. Oh, man. I don't know. 500 might be out of the question. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat, everyone. Do you think he can get to 500 home runs? That's going to be interesting. I don't know if he'll get 500. I could see 450. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the chat. Put a thumbs up or put a thumbs down. You know what? Let me see if I can actually do a poll. Oh, I'll do a poll. I'll do the poll. I know you all like the polls. Will Freddie Freeman hit 500 home runs? Yes or no? All right, there's the hot take poll. Ooh, that could be something that we start doing for hot takes. A hot take poll. I like that. All right, let's see what you all are doing. Here we go. The poll's up, everyone. We got 10 votes already. 80% saying no. Let's get to 20. Let's see where you're at with 20. All right, so 65% say no. All righty. So it's going to be hard for him to get to 500, I think. I could see 400 to 450 somewhere in there because you got to think, if he hits a few more seasons of like 30 home runs each, gets to 400 by the time he's 36, now you're asking him to, you know, from 36 to 40, 41 to get another 100 homers. It's possible. It's just a matter of, will he be durable those last few years? You know, some guys, man, they really just fall off, you know, the last couple of years. Freddie Freeman's so good, though. But that would be cool if he could hit 500 home runs. That'd be really cool. SoundFX in the chat, you're saying Freddie's career best home run in a season was 38, 31 in 2021. Yeah, so if he can get 25, let's say he gets 25 home runs for the next 9 years. Or not 9 years, let's say 7 years. So that's 175. So that would put him at 475. So he'd have to play, I think, past 40. He'd have to have like a Pujols-like kind of last season, you know, in his 40s. Pujols is what, like 42, 43? It's possible. I'm not saying it's not, but it'll be tough, of course. So we'll have to wait and see. Will he want to get to 500 home runs? I don't know. I could see Freeman being one of those guys being like, nah, you know what? I'm good with 450. I'm going to call it a career. I could see him doing something like that. So we'll have to see. All right, everyone. Let's get back to the hot takes here. We got a few here. Thank you for the super chats. Again, if you do want to get on to the show with your own hot take, super chats are available. But let's get to the next one here. This was in the thumbnail. And again, we're diving into the trade talks here rather early. It's May 18th. How about Aaron Nola? The Phillies. This is a team that has been not playing very well. Aaron Nola gets traded at the deadline from NMK10. This was from Twitter today at 2 o'clock Eastern time. So let's take a look here at the Phillies. What is going on with this Phillies team right now? Let's actually see. What are they doing right now? Are they playing? I actually don't think they're playing tonight. So are they off tonight? Yeah, they're off tonight. So they play again tomorrow against the Cubs. So off day for the Phillies. So let's take a look here. They are 20-23 as of right now. 7 back in this division. Right now, this looks like the Braves division to lose. Personally, look out for the Mets, though. Look out for the Mets. Could they be building some momentum? They took 2 out of 3 against the Rays. Man, oh man, look at the Rays all of a sudden. There are cracks in the armor with the Tampa Bay Rays. 32-13, still a great record. but they're now 4-6 in their last 10. You can beat the Rays. They're not a machine. What's the saying? It's not a machine. He's a man. Well, they're not a machine. They're men. You can beat the Rays, right? Their bullpen has not been very good. So keep that in mind with the Rays. It's been a little iffy, and the starting pitching is a little thin. So a lot of people said, including myself, that I thought the Rays were going to come back down to earth a little bit this month. And right now, they're kind of right around a 500 record for the month. So they just got off to that incredible start in April. So let's see what happens here. The Orioles are slowly closing in on this division. Who would have thought the Orioles would be in division? I mean, I love it. I love it. I absolutely love that the Orioles. Well, no, I don't. I want my Red Sox to win the division. They're going to win the whole thing this year. World Series champs, my Red Sox. But the Orioles, it's really fun to see them, man. I don't like it as a Sox fan, but you got to love what they're doing. So, anyway, what were we talking about again? We are talking about the Phillies. It's 20-23 for the record. They're 2.5 back in the wild card. That's the one thing, again, I keep pointing to. It's still, there's no separation in this National League. Everyone is so tight. So, again, it's still too early. But we got to talk from the point of view, if the Phillies are out of it, right? If they are 5 back in the wild card, the thing is with the Phillies is they are full of talent, and we saw what they did last year, right? We saw what they did in the second half. However, they didn't make a manager change this year like they did last year, and that seemed to give them momentum last year. Remember, they had a big winning streak after they changed managers there. Bringing in Thompson, that seemed to give them a spark. They don't got that now. There's so much talent on this team. It is stacked. You got Turner, Harper, Castellanos, Schwarber, Realmuto. Marsh is having just a really good year. He's slumping lately, but Bohm is hot lately. Man, it's such a good lineup. The pitching, Nola, Wheeler, Walker, Suarez. The one reason I would think probably no on this one, to be honest with you, but it wouldn't be out of the question because Nola is a free agent after this season. So looking here at Aaron Nola, he's on a 5-year, right around a $57 million deal. He's making $16 million this year, and he's a free agent after this year. That could be someone absolutely that can bring you in at least a few prospects, right, at the deadline. So but then again, the Phillies, it really just depends on how far out they are. It's really hard to kind of give up on this team when they're so full of talent and they invested so much money into this team, as bringing in Turner. I feel like this is not the route they're going to go. I think they're going to fight until the end. They're the fighting Phils. I just don't. I think it'd be crazy. But the one guy that you would legitimately think about trading if you were just completely out of it would be Nola. I don't see Dombrowski selling. I could see him more adding, right? Maybe you could, I don't know though, with Nola, like that starting pitching, they've been having some injuries. It's looking a little thin. So Nola to me is a guy you can't trade. I don't see it. It's hard unless they're like 10 games out in the wild card, which I don't see happening. They're just that good of a team. I think you just need to kind of give them some time. It's still early. It's still a little chilly out there in some places out in May. I don't see it personally. I think they're going to heat up. I think they're going to be kind of right here, like in this range, like second, third place. I mean, Miami, they just don't stop winning. Miami's, man, they got a negative 52 run differential, and they're in second place in the NL East. Who would have thought? How many times have we all said in the past few years that the National League East is like the best division in baseball? You've heard about the American League East, but you'd hear it about the National League East too. And it's crazy. Like, look at all the negative run differential. The Braves are just the class of this division right now. But the Marlins, they're pesky. They're just finding ways to win these games, They're really good at one-run games too. Let me actually look at that. What was their record in one-run games? They're 14-1 in one-run games. That bullpen is clutch at the end of games, man. It's crazy. When they're not in one-run games, they just stink. When they're in those close games, they're crazy good. It's like that's the thing that's been keeping them in, just winning those tight games. But as for the Phillies, no, I'm going to sell on this. I don't think they're going to trade him. I don't think that's the right move. It's not something Dombrowski would do. They're too good to just sell at the deadline. I just don't see it. Personally, I don't see it. Sound FX, make it 7 home runs for St. Louis tonight. Wow, they got 7 home runs tonight? Whoa, St. Louis is up 14-8. St. Louis is up 14-8 in the bottom of the 8th. Man, that's crazy. You know who was starting in this game? For the Dodgers was Julio Urias. And Julio Urias is on my So Rare MLB team. And that is not looking good for my team. And what a segue it is. Let's talk about tonight's sponsor, So Rare MLB. We have been a proud partner with So Rare MLB. It has been my favorite way to play fantasy baseball this year. It has just been extremely fun collecting the cards. It's everyone, if you don't know what So Rare MLB is, it's just another version of fantasy baseball, but you collect cards just like you would with Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and you would use them to battle. Same thing here. You're collecting cards, you're putting a team together, and you're competing in tournaments twice a week. So let's go take a look here. Because I wasn't here this past week, I have not even looked at my 2 rewards from the last tournament that I played in, and because I wanted to open them all with you. But let's take a look here. Who are my 2 new cards? So these are both. I finished in the top half of the last tournament that I was in, but not like in the top half. I was like kind of more mid-range. So I'm going to be getting there's 5, I think there's 4 tiers. So I'm going to be getting a tier 3 card. So let's see who we got first. A Blue Jays player, second baseman. We got Whit Merrifield. All right. I guess that's all right. Let's take a look at the next one. Here we go. All righty. Someone on the Yankees. A starting pitcher. Don't tell me it's Domingo Germán. Oh, Nestor Cortez. All right. Well, if he gets himself right, he's gotten really hammered a couple of times. But whatever. If Nestor Cortez gets hot, that's a guy I wouldn't mind starting in some of my games. But taking a look here, this is how my team is doing currently. Julio Urias just completely just dove off the deep end tonight, -6. But holy crap, Aaron Judge got me 96 points this past week. Aaron Judge, you keep looking at whatever the heck you're looking at because it's giving me points. That's what I care about. If you're looking at signs or whatever it is, please keep it up, my friend. Keep it up. You look at whatever the heck you want because I like 96 points going to my team. Bogarts with 25. Dustin May, a bit of a scare with him. He had to leave his last game with a bit of an elbow scare. I haven't read the latest news with him. I would imagine that's definitely an IL trip. So what's going on with him actually? I need to check on that. I haven't heard any news on that. I'm guessing got put on the strained flexor, so you're probably looking at maybe a couple of months at least. Hopefully maybe not, maybe just a month or so, but I don't know. Anyway, but Dustin May didn't really give me all that much, but Aaron Judge completely carried me this week. So for next week, I'm going to set my lineup here. Common All-Star. Let's go take a look here. So I'm definitely going to start McClanahan. Oh, you know what? Ooh, who's Sale going up against? So he's going up against the Padres. Well, the Padres are pretty cold right now with this offense. Now, McClanahan, I don't know, man. The Brewers have been playing some pretty good baseball. I'll go Chris Sale for the start. For Drew Smith has been a really solid reliever for me this year. I'll stick with Nate Lowe. He's been solid. Bogarts has been cold, man. I'm going to go with Turner, actually. Judge has been really hot. I'll go with Yoshida as my extra hitter. And do I want to go with McClanahan as my extra guy? The Brewer, I don't know, McClanahan. All right, I'll go with McClanahan. He's been pretty solid for the most part. But everyone, here is the big announcement that I wanted to make because I think you're all going to want to pay attention to this. And actually, really quick, let me just get this pulled up here. What do we got here? What do we got? Hold on one second. Everyone, this is a really cool opportunity here. And I think you're going to want to pay attention to this. So let me get this right. Here we go. 1 second, everyone. 1 second. Apologies. All right. So this month, at the end of the month, right? First off, to get started with Sorare MLB, click the link down below in the description. You can draft your team completely for free. There's no money necessary. Again, I love playing it. I think it's really cool just setting my lineup. And it's 2 tournaments a week, so it's not like you have to wait 1 whole week to kind of just wait for the next one. You got 2 tournaments per week, Monday through Thursday, Friday through Sunday. You can win a whole bunch of prizes. And I don't know, I've just really enjoyed it. But I have something for you, everyone. Man, oh man, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Drum roll, please. Everyone, I will be starting my own Sorare MLB league. To draft your team and join, click the links in the description below. So there's 2 separate links in the description. One is to draft your team and one is to join the league. And everyone, here's the fun part. Okay, we have 2 tournaments per week, right? From May 29th to June 29th. The winners of those tournaments will win a subscription to MLB TV. I'm telling you, everyone, that's pretty juicy if you ask me. Like, I'm telling you, why would you not want to play this? Do you want to watch TV for free or MLB TV for free? All you got to do is just win a tournament. I'm just saying, show me how good you are in these tournaments. And, hey, it could really pay off for you. Why not? There's literally nothing you have to give up. You don't have to pay a dime to draft a team. You don't have to pay a dime to enter the league. You got there's no other reason why. There's no reason why you should not be joining this. I mean, I think you're crazy unless you have MLB TV, but whatever. Join it anyway and win it for a friend. I mean, I think that would be absolutely insane if you didn't join it. But again, everyone, draft your team, description below. Find the link. I have the first one. It says draft your team with Sorare MLB. Has the link below that. And then the other link says join my Sorare league so you can get wrecked because I'm going to wreck you in the league. You're going to be playing against me in my league. So, hey. Now, there's also bragging rights on the line, too. So that link is below that. So, again, it's completely free to get started. There's no payment necessary at all. It's just a fun time, and it's honestly, I think, a great way for me to be able to just interact with all of you more. So, hey, help me out. I'm just trying to have some fun with all of you. You know, have some fun. Come on. We're all trying to have a good old time here. So, click the links. Click the links. Here we go, everyone. Back to hot takes. I'm going to run through these last couple of ones. This was an interesting one. A team that is not playing so well lately, but I do like this team, and the numbers look pretty decent with this team. The Chicago Cubs, but could their manager be on the hot seat? Swedish Jeff 2022, he says, is David Ross on the hot seat? Glad you're feeling better. Thank you, Swedish Jeff. I'm glad I'm feeling better, too, because I felt absolutely awful for the last couple of days. So, here we go, everyone. Here we go. Alrighty. Where are we? Let's go to the stats. So, let's look at the standings. Let's see where the Cubs are at right now. So, taking a look. They're 19-24 as of right now. You know, speaking of one-run games, they are not good in these one-run games. 2-9 in one-run games. So the Cubbies, they gotta get this together here. What's going on? But they have not been playing great baseball over their last 10. If we take a look, 2-8. They've lost 5 straight. this is a team that got off to a really good start this year. They were pretty fun to watch. And now they're just not really doing a whole lot. But over the last couple of weeks, they're still not bad with the offense. 15th overall, middle of the road, a 101 WRC plus, hitting 250 as a team. Not bad, not great. The starting pitching, that's base running. Starting pitching, they've been getting knocked around a little bit. 18th overall, ERA at a 5.74. The FIP at a 4.44, 4.23 xFIP. If we go take a look at what these guys are doing here, I believe Stroman got knocked around quite a bit in his last start. Wesneski's been getting hit around a little bit. I thought Wesneski was going to be really good this year. One thing with Wesneski, though, 9 strikeouts per 9, under a walk per 9 in the last couple of weeks, but he's giving up a ton of home runs right now. So, I don't know, something that he's maybe working through. Tyone, he came back recently, has not looked great. Stroman, the FIP and the xFIP for Stroman do look better. So, I see brighter, I see some bright lights on the horizon. So, I think Stroman's going to be fine. Smiley has been pretty solid this year for the most part. Justin Steele, he continues to be really good. The FIP at a 2.51 over the last 3 starts. He's been a huge bright spot for the Cubs. And if we take a look at the bullpen, on the year, the Cubs bullpen is fine, 14th overall. It feels like when you look at the Cubs, they do feel like they're kind of short in some spots. I've talked about the starting pitching. It feels like they're short when you look there. Again, I like some of the guys they have, but it feels like they could really use another guy. I mean, Kyle Hendricks, who knows when he's coming back. They definitely need more in this rotation. So, I've been reading about Dave Roberts, and there's times where he maybe pulls a guy possibly too soon, and he goes to the bullpen. The one thing with Dave is that he has depth in this bullpen that I don't want to ignore, because some of these guys, like Wesneski, like, where is West? Did Wesneski get sent down? Oh, he did get sent down. Okay. So, well, that's something there. So, definitely now they're looking short. I'm a visual guy. If they're not there, I just completely forget about them. But, so Wesneski's now gone down. So, they're going to have to address that. So, but they have depth in this bullpen, so I can understand why he maybe goes to a guy too soon. So, Cubs fans, let me know what you think about that. That was something I read, from a couple of other Cubs fans. So, the bullpen, and one thing with the bullpen is they have some other guys that are pretty decent here. Like Leiter's been pretty solid this year. Adbert Alzolay, he's been pretty solid. Jeremiah Estrada, he's been okay recently, but they don't have a lot of like bang options really to go to. So Dave Ross, at the end of the day, it seems like he's been fine because the numbers are looking okay, but there's not really like a whole lot of options he can really turn to with confidence at the end of the day. Seems like the lineup has been fine as a whole on the year. I mean, the lineup, they're middle of the road the last couple of weeks, but if we look at how they've been doing all year, they are one of the best. They're one of the best offenses in the game for the whole year. They're 6th overall in WRC plus. So it seems like the lineup has been fine. Doesn't seem like anyone's unhappy over there. So I think Dave Ross has been fine. It's just he doesn't have a lot of riches to turn to when it comes to pitching. So I think the Cubs, that was something that looked like a weakness coming into the year. They didn't have a whole lot of pitching. Now, there was ceiling, but there wasn't a whole lot of floor. So that's kind of starting to show. The Cubs, I don't know. They got off to a great start there. I'm going to have to give them a few more weeks, but they could start falling out of this pretty quick. Look at Pittsburgh. Hey, they fell out, but they're still hanging in, man. Well, they're definitely benefiting that St. Louis got off to the bad start, but I think this division is going to look so different July 1st. Just look like about 6 weeks from now, this division is going to look so different. The Cardinals, I think, are going to be up here. Who knows where the Pirates are going to be? Who knows where the Cubs are going to be? Even the Reds are playing pretty decent this year. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to say this on record. I've done this the last couple of years. I did this a couple of years ago are not the season before last season. I said, look out for the Guardians next year. They're going to be good. And then they ended up having a good season. Last year, I was saying, look out for the Diamondbacks next year. They're going to be good. My team for next year is the Cincinnati Reds. I think this Reds team, I think they're getting pretty close to being a powerhouse team. I'm not kidding. I think this team could absolutely scorch the earth next year. They got some good young players on this team. They got guys that could come up eventually. I'm telling you, Cincinnati Reds next year, I think they really could be something. I'm just saying that, man. I'm just saying that. I'm getting that same vibe. Same vibe. They're not there yet. But same way I felt about the Diamondbacks the last couple of years. I was kind of waiting for that Diamondbacks team to emerge, and they finally have started to emerge this year. Let's see if they can keep it going. I saw good things from the Guardians, right? I'm just saying that this Reds team, they are, I think, going to be crazy. Anyway, that's a different story. That could be maybe a video for another time. But the Cubs, I think give it some time with the Cubs. No, I don't think Dave Ross is on the hot seat. Him and Jed Hoyer, they have a good relationship. Dave Ross is a player guy. This is a guy, he was just made to be a manager. I think he's going to be fine. The Cubs just aren't really, I think, fully well-rounded yet. Good lineup, good offense, some good veteran players there, good mix of young talent as well. But they need pitching. But if you don't got the pitching, you got to give Dave Ross the team, right? If you're not giving him enough resources to really get the job done, can you really blame it on him? Say what you will about maybe taking guys out in certain spots and putting certain guys in and blah, blah, blah. You got to give him the resources. So I'm going to say no on that. I don't think he is on the verge of at all being fired. I don't think he's on the hot seat. Let's talk about my Red Sox, shall we? Speaking of David Ross, Red Sox legend, let's talk about my Red Sox. We got a couple here. You know who I've been loving this year? I'm so happy for the kid. I'm so happy for Jarren Duran. He has been absolutely fantastic. From Mo, Duran will finish top 5 in MVP voting. Oh, Mo, I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh, my. He has been absolutely fantastic. Let's go take a look here at the leaderboards. Jarren Duran has been something else, man. Taking a look. Oh, my. Here we go. Now, Jarren Duran, if we take a look at outfielders, he is 4th overall among outfielders in all of Major League Baseball in Fangraph WAR. Only behind Ronald Acuna Jr., Randy Arozarena, Brent Rooker, and Jarren Duran is tied with Brent Rooker. Jarren Duran is tied with Brent Rooker, but he's done it in 10 less games. He's hitting .361, a .418 on base, a .588 slugging in 110 plate appearances. Let's look at how many doubles this guy has. This guy's been going crazy. He has, right now, he's got 13 doubles. That is insane. In 97 ABs, he's got 13 doubles. Verdugo's got 15. That leads outfielders. And Verdugo has done it in almost double the at-bats. Duran has done it in 97 at-bats. He's been crazy. I will sell the hot take. I don't think he will end up finishing with MVP votes, personally. But that would be awesome if he did. It's like, man, I know he's gotten this comparison a lot, but wow, you're seeing a little bit of Grady Sizemore here. Like, when you really watch him, he really reworked that swing, and he looks great. He's 14th overall in Fangraph WAR right now. Again, will he finish with MVP votes? I don't know about that. He's going to hit a slump eventually, I would think. Will he? I hope not. He's also got 7 stolen bases. This guy, I think, could be an MVP candidate in the future if he keeps doing these kind of things. I mean, will he be a flash in the pan You know, he really struggled last year, but this is a guy who had a lot of hype over the last few years. Really athletic guy. He's really put on a lot of beef. I mean, dude, the guy reworked his swing in the offseason, and he has been fantastic. The way he gets to the ball now is just so crazy. Duran, he's really something else. I don't think he's going to get MVP votes, but really wanted to show him some love for this show because he really has been just out of his mind. Another guy, though, on the Red Sox that has not been very hot, Kike Hernandez. From Sammy Jones on Twitter, Kike should lose his starting role. It is pretty crazy right now how bad Kike Hernandez has been. I don't think people have realized it. He has been banged up a little bit recently. He was day to day, but Kike Hernandez he was looking all right in the beginning there, but he's been playing shortstop this year. He has not been playing good defense there. He doesn't look like a good fit. He seems so much better out there in center field, but now you have Jarren Duran out there, right? And then I would think Duvall is going to come back eventually, maybe in a couple months. So I think Kike for center field, I think you got to take him out now. He's hitting 241, a 296 on base, a 352 slugging. Listen, if Kike is still hitting like this when Trevor Story comes back, I might have to. I think you got to buy this, right? Because I think Story, you know, you can. The one thing with Cora is he's gonna work guys in and around. The one good thing about Kike is he can play multiple positions. But I think that's what is gonna end up being the big thing for him is that he can go play elsewhere. He can go play some second. He can go play center field one day. Even go probably play some right field, honestly. I think eventually Story, if Story comes back to play short, remember he was getting ready to play short in the offseason, and that's when his elbow got hurt. I would imagine after getting his elbow fixed, I would think that he's going to be fine to play shortstop now, which I think is great. I think you got to give Story the shortstop job back over Kike Hernandez, especially if the numbers are looking like this. So, yeah, I'm going to buy it. Sammy Jones, I'm going to buy it. When he posted that today, I was like, ooh, that was like something I hadn't even thought about yet because I keep forgetting that Trevor Story exists. But yeah, he's going to be coming back eventually. He'll probably be back around the All-Star break. You're looking at maybe a couple more months. So Kike Hernandez, time is ticking, my friend. Time is ticking. Here we go. Last one, everyone. Last one. Let's end this on a fun note. The Oakland A's, they're just so bad. Colton Hollinger, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? This guy makes it on here, it feels like every single time. The A's will break the MLB record for the most losses in a single season. It is pretty crazy how bad the Oakland A's are. And honestly, I think I got to buy it. Because here we go. Good old Wikipedia coming through when I need them. Now, if we go take a look here at the most losses. Now, if you go back to 1886, we all remember the infamous Cleveland Spiders. I remember them just like yesterday. But 20 wins that year. They were the best team of all time. But if we go to the modern era, the 1916 Philadelphia A's. That's hilarious. Oh, well, history is repeating itself. Man, oh man, the A's are looking at, they were 1919 as well. And 1915. They were really bad those years. And now, man, oh man, the A's are once again at the bottom of the barrel. But I really think they could end up falling in this range. The 2003 Tigers, that was a very bad team. This team, I remember that Tigers team still had a couple of pieces on it. Let me go back to that 2003 Tigers team. That Tigers team was so bad, but they still had a couple of notable players. You had Carlos Guillen, or not Carlos Guillen, Carlos Pena. You had Craig Monroe, Brandon Inge, Remember good old Brandon Inge? Mike Maroth. Man, I haven't seen Mike Maroth in forever. Who is this guy? Chris Sperling? That's a name I haven't seen in forever. Warren Morris. Oh, Dimitri Young. What the heck? That's Dimitri Young? I don't remember Dimitri Young without dreads. That is pretty crazy. What in the world is that? But here's the one thing I want to point out with the Detroit Tigers. Look at all the innings they were getting. Nate Cornegel, almost 200 innings. Mike Maroth, almost 200 innings. Remember, you had Jeremy Bonderman on that team, 162 innings. You were getting innings from these guys. Now, let's go look at the Oakland A's starting pitching. It's really bad. It's awful. Like, you got J.P. Sears, who's been okay. Racinski. You got Muller. You got Medina. You got Waldichuk. But these are young guys. They moved Fujinami to the bullpen, which I think was, even though he's still not doing all that great there, I think that's going to end up being the best thing, or the best chance of him doing anything. But yeah, you know, this A's team, I don't know if they have the pitching depth. They don't have, remember the Tigers, they had prospects at the time, right? So they had a future. The A's don't have much of a future. You know, they got guys like here, like you have Langliers. I mean, Rooker's come alive this year, Esteury Ruiz. But really, like, the long-term future right now of the A's, it's a little bleak at the moment, especially with the whole move to Vegas. Like, how are they going to handle financials over the next couple of years? Are they, like, what do you even do? Like, what do you, like, their attendance is so bad now. Even though it's crazy. The Rays are actually even getting way more people to Tropicana Field, obviously, because they're a winning team. But, like, I'm just saying, Tropicana Field, they always have a hard time drawing. But the A's are, like, they're getting no one. I saw, like, a video on Instagram. There was, like, I think 2,000 people at a game or something. Maybe not even that. I don't even know. But it's really bad. The A's, at least with the offense, they do have a decent offense. Actually, let me take a look here. It's actually not terrible. It's 21st overall. Or no, that's offense and defense. But if we look at offense, they're 19th overall. It's still negative. They have a 97 WRC plus. I mean, Brent Rooker is a huge part of that. But it's still 19th overall. They're not at the bottom. But when you're looking at the pitching, starting pitching, and the bullpen, it's bottom. It's like, it's dead last. So that's where I do think they won't set the record, I think. But I think they're going to end up falling in here, like in this range. They'll probably be, I think they'll have 40 to 45 wins. Maybe they'll get, I don't know, 50 at this point doesn't look very promising. Doesn't look promising. I'll go 45 wins for the A's. So maybe right around here. There could be 43, 42. We'll see. Could they end up getting less than that 03 Tigers team? I think there's a chance. I think they could definitely get 42. I mean, can they break 40? Could you imagine if they're in the 30s? That'd be nuts. Wow. That'd be nuts. But you know that they are, man, with the whole Vegas thing coming up, they're going to love that. If they can get a chance at the number 1 pick and that first player that comes to the Las Vegas A's, oh, that'd be crazy, man. That'd be really cool to see, like, you know, that new team out there and you got your number 1 overall pick. You know, that'd be pretty cool. So, but right now, it is not pretty cool out in Oakland. Everyone, I want to thank you for coming out. We got up to around 150 people tonight. Good episode of Hot Takes. Haven't been here in a week. It was great to be back. Everyone, let's have a big show Sunday night. Power rankings are back. I'm still hating the fact that I wasn't able to do it this past weekend. But Help us have a big turnout on Sunday. Let's get the power rankings roaring back. We were close to 400 people for episode 2. I want to try and break 400 people on Sunday. So get in here on Sunday. Let's have a big show. I'm excited for it. Everyone, again, hey, apologies for not being here for the past week. It was just it was rough. I tried, I was trying to get on here. I just couldn't get myself right, man. So, I know it happens. Life is life, but I love being on here with all of you. In a way, it almost kind of felt like, I don't know, not great to be away, but like it kind of made me like really miss it that much. And, it's cool to be back on. I got summer vacation in just a little over a week, everyone. And you know what that means. The content is about to get pumped up. So, hey, I'm excited for all of it. All of it. We got the trade season coming up. Got good baseball coming up. We got the month of June. It's about to start heating up, everyone. And I'm glad you're all going to be here with me to do it. Everyone, on your way out, hit that like button for me. Smash the crap out of it. We're at 68 likes, everyone. If you can help us get to 100 by the end of the show, that would be amazing. That would be great. Hit the bell notification as well. Subscribe if you are new. Share the stream. Also, don't forget about Sorare MLB, everyone. Click the link. Click the links down below in the description to draft your team. It's completely free. But also, everyone, I now have my own Sorare League. So click the link down below to draft your team, but also click the link below that to join my league. And for the first month of the league, winners of the tournaments will be getting a subscription to MLB TV. I don't see why you would not want to join. It's completely free. Go ahead and click the links in the description below. Don't forget about our partnership here with SeatGeek. $20 off. Use the code HYDE. And don't forget about BetOnline, your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Use the code BELIEVE, BLEAV. And everyone, I'm out of here. It's great to be back. I'm glad you all joined me here tonight. And everyone, Sunday night, we're back for Power Rankings. I'll see you then. Have yourself a great night, everyone. And I'll talk to you next time.